Okay, so I promised I would do what I eat in a week video. So here is my breakfast for today. This was about €9 a kilo, and I think this should last me the whole week. I'm gonna write everything down and then calculate the price for each day, and then the aim is to stay under €50 for the week. And then I'm adding some of these dates. I think this box should last me about 2 weeks, but we'll see. And I think this was €4. And then I'm gonna add, wait a minute, let's see. I'm gonna add some fresh cream. I'm taking the lactose-free one, but the price for both the normal one and this one are the same, and it's $3.60 for one of these. And yeah, this should last me a week if I don't eat it every day. But again, we'll see. I'm gonna calculate the price for this meal more or less, and then for the whole day, and then eventually for the week. So we'll see how it goes. So this is what that meal looks like. On camera it looks burnt, in real life it isn't. I do like my bacon crispy, but it's not burnt. So I made a rough calculation. I think, for example, the cream is probably 1/20th of the whole tub, so I divided 360 by 20, and then I added 40 cents for the dates, because I think that's 1/10 of the whole box. And then for the bacon, I think this is about 100 grams, which then is 90 cents. So the total of that comes down to €1.85. Obviously I'm paying in kroners, but I'm just dividing everything by 10. I think it's even slightly cheaper, because the kroner, Swedish kroner, is doing pretty bad, so it's a little less. But just for the ease of it, let's say this meal is €1.85. Again, this is a rough calculation. I will be doing a more accurate calculation at the end of the week. Okay, so I've just taken this out of the freezer. It's about €5, a little less actually. And like the first day I will have a salmon tartare with it, so I'll just eat it raw, and then the next day I'll use it to make salmon burgers. And I'm also trying this because this is a meat based on a budget video, and I didn't want to complicate things, so I would normally recommend getting raw milk from like a farm, but since that's not achievable for everyone, yeah, I just thought I'd try this. You should know that I'm actually lactose intolerant, but the thing about raw milk is that most people report not having any issues with it. So people who are lactose intolerant do seem to tolerate raw milk most of the time. But since raw milk is not available in most supermarkets, at least not where I live, and from experience I know like in most of Europe it isn't, so you have to go to a farm. So I wanted to just try something else and see how that works for me. So I'm having a glass of this. It's from grass-fed cows, and even though it's yeah, can you read it? It's homogenized and it's pasteurized, but it's low pasteurization. So it should be slightly better than regular milk at the store. And the fat percentage is also higher than the whole milk they usually sell. I looked at the percentages, and the regular whole milk is 3.2% fat. This one is a little higher, and as I said, it's from grass-fed cows. It's organic, and instead of like fully pasteurizing it, they do a low pasteurization. I've already had a glass of this yesterday, and yeah, so far so good. I haven't really, my stomach is still okay. Everything feels fine, so this might actually be a good option. I'm not entirely sure if you can find something like this in every store, but it might be something to look out for. So this is my lunch. It's the salmon, and I added an egg yolk and some pickles. After I finish this, I will try to make a calculation of the total cost of this. I ended up only using 1/3 of the salmon, and yeah, the pickles, I think the whole jar will probably last me 2 weeks, but we'll see. Okay, so the salmon, 1/3 of the package is 170. Then an egg yolk comes down to, well, actually a whole egg comes down to 0.13, and then for the pickles, oh wait, shit, ah damn. So for the pickles, I just counted it as 25 cents. It's probably less, but and then a glass of milk, it comes down to about 45 cents. So the total of that whole meal, so the salmon, the egg yolk, the pickles, and a glass of milk, comes down to 2.53. And then, just as a reminder, for the breakfast, the bacon, cream, and dates, that came down to 1.85. No, 58. Wait, yeah, 58. So the total, just roughly, like we're now at €40 roughly, which should be okay for today. We still have dinner to go, but yeah, we've got some budget left, so I think we're doing good. This will be my dinner: 3 eggs, a ball of mozzarella, and then I've added some salt. I baked the eggs in the lard from the bacon, so I didn't have to add any butter. So I think this should be a pretty cheap meal, but I'll calculate the cost after I finish it. Okay, so let's see. The eggs were 13 cents a piece. The mozzarella, I remember there was a deal on it, so it was only €1, which brings the total of this meal to €1.39. And then the total for today is 5.5, which is pretty good, because if you divide 50 by 7, that comes down to more or less €7 a day. So we are €1.5 below that. So that gives us some wiggle room. I can either have a snack, which I don't think I will, or I can do like a nicer meal later on this week, or I can just like see how far I can go below 50 with my total week budget. We'll see. If I do 550 a day, then that comes down to 38.5 a week. So that would be pretty cool to stay under 40. Yeah, we'll see. Maybe it's a bit too ambitious. That being said, I don't think... Yeah, I made the cheapest choices today. Yeah, the eggs are cheap, but you can pretty much do that every day. the bacon isn't the cheapest option. You could go for organ meats or minced meat, and that would be cheaper. The salmon isn't the cheapest option. So yeah, we'll see. Like the aim is still 50, but maybe, yeah, we'll see how I feel like going through this day by day. Like if I keep hitting 550 a day, then maybe we can do 40 a week, or yeah. So forget what I just said. I am gonna have a snack because I just feel like otherwise it would not be realistic for most of you. So this is a bit of cream, and then I've added a berry jam that I made myself. I picked the berries, so for me they are free. I did use some honey. So I'm gonna count this as a €1 meal. I think it's a little cheaper, but I suggest if you have to buy berries that you don't do that, and that you just add some cacao, or just some cacao powder, or maybe a bit of honey, or just have the cream on its own. But yeah, I had lots of free berries to pick, so yeah. But if you were to buy berries, this would be way too expensive, so don't do that unless you want to go over budget. But otherwise, just stick to the cream and then add something cheap. Like I just a bit of cacao powder would be very nice. Maybe some dates, that could work as well. But then, if you want to keep it budget friendly and you don't have any berries to pick, don't do berries, please. Okay, so for breakfast we now have bacon, red beets from the garden, and then I added 1 teaspoon of honey. Now these beets are free for me, but because I know people will say I'm cheating, I will look up the price of like a beet, or calculate the price of a beet and add that to my final calculation. Okay, so beets are pretty cheap right now, so I think they're 170 for a whole kilo, and this was a very small one. I think it was only 50 grams, so that only comes down to 8 cents for that little bit of beet. Then bacon comes down to 90 cents, and then the honey, well, I think it comes down to 25 cents. It might be a little less, but so the total comes down to 123. I'm pretty much having the same lunch as I did yesterday, so the only difference is this time I'm using the whole egg instead of just the yolk, but that's simply because I forgot to separate the yolk from the egg white. Yeah, I'm sorry to disappoint, but this is just the reality of my life. Once I open up a package of the salmon, that kind of means I have to eat salmon for 2 to 3 days. So tomorrow I will be making it into a burger, but I prefer it raw, and today it's still very fresh, so I'm having it raw. I'm having another snack: cream, cacao, and some dates. I'm writing it down as €1. It's probably a little less than €1, but just for, the ease of it, I'm rounding it up to €1. So this morning I made some hot chocolate with the milk I showed you earlier in the video, and then some cacao and a bit of honey. I'm putting this down as a 75-cent drink. It's probably a little less, but just for the ease of it, I'm putting it down as 75 cents. I might have some actual breakfast later, but for now I'm not very hungry, so we'll see. Okay, so this is my breakfast: bacon, some pickles, the berry jam, and then these are supposed to be soft-boiled eggs, but I boiled them a little too soft, so they completely fell apart. So this meal wasn't planned. I'm visiting my sister and she offered me this meal because she had too much of it. I'm gonna try and calculate the cost anyway. What this is oxtail, beef and bacon.
Well, actually it's ribs, pork ribs.
Okay, no, so oxtail, beef, pork ribs,
potatoes,
onions, carrots, more vegetables that I would
tarragon,
like, and then some herbs.
Some
Basically,
herbs,
yeah.
mustard.
No, I didn't put any mustard in. Did you?
Yeah,
okay.
but there's already
a bit of mustard, yeah. So yeah, I'll try and this is making my life very complicated, but I'll try and calculate the cost of this meal. The final meal of the day, salmon burgers, as you might have guessed, with some English cheddar, and then I've added some cream with peppermint from the garden. I had a little bit of peppermint in the garden, so I added that for a bit of freshness. I'm pretty sure we are over budget today. I'm guessing the total will come to about €8, but that's still fine because we were under budget the previous days and we will be able to make up for it the coming days. And also that stew that I had for lunch kind of threw the budget off, but it's okay, things like that happen. I'm also very glad to be done with the salmon. I usually only have it like once every 2 months because this is what happens. I open up the package and I'm stuck with it for 2 to 3 days, and I actually prefer meat over salmon, so I think I might have to do another video of like a week of me eating on a budget, but then only meat, because this week I was like, oh, it's been a while since I had salmon, but this is not very like representative of what I usually eat. Okay, so I didn't show you this yesterday, but the hot chocolate came down to 75 cents. The eggs, bacon, jam and pickles came down to 1.65, no, 56. I keep doing this. Like I might have some sort of dyslexia that includes numbers, and it's no, because I used to be very good at math. So I think that's a new thing. Anyway, 1.56. Then the stew, according to my calculations, came down to about 3.50. Then the salmon burger, the cream and cheddar, came down to 2.25. And as I said, I expected, that comes down to €8.06, which is €1 over budget, but the day before that we stayed about €1 under budget, and the day before that we stayed 50 cents under budget, so we're still on budget. Okay, this is today's breakfast. It's just bacon and the berry jam, which will come down to, I'll just do this immediately, so hold on. This is, oh wait, I'll have to, day 4, bacon is 90 cents, 0.9, and then the jam is, I'm always putting this down as 25 cents, might be less, but so that total then comes down to 1.15. Okay, so this is a very late lunch, so I just made it into lunch slash dinner. So it's already almost 4 o'clock. So we're doing 2 burgers, which come down to 2.50. Some pickles, let's say 15 cents. I used some fresh potatoes to make French fries. That's about, I think I put it down as 50 cents. Then some English cheddar, which I think I put down as 40 cents. And then some cream, which I think I wrote down as, can't remember, 50 cents? No, yeah, 50 cents. So in total that meal comes down to €4.05, which is pretty good considering it's basically my last real meal. I can still have a snack later, but like the total for today right now comes down to 5.15, so we still got a bit of room left there. I did not have another meal yesterday because I was quite full, but I was below budget. I think about €2 below budget, so you could easily add another meal, a smaller meal. This is my breakfast: 3 eggs, some cream, some honey, a couple of dates, and some cacao powder. I think that's it. Yeah, that's it. Oh, and some butter. I did add some butter. I used a pan that had a bit of bacon lard left, so it should have a bit of a bacon taste, but then I also added some extra butter just to make it a little more buttery because I like it that way. It's the weekend, so I'm going a bit crazy and I'm having more French fries. Actually these are French fries and sweet potato fries, and then this is beef. My sister brought this over and we thought this would be steak, but it's actually beef that's cut up to be stew, but we still made it the way we would make steak, I guess. This is another snack. Some berry jam and cream. That late afternoon snack yesterday ended up being my last meal, so I didn't have any dinner because I wasn't hungry. Anyway, this is my breakfast. We're doing bacon, beets, and a little bit of honey again. For lunch I'm having some leftover steak from yesterday and a bit of berry jam. Okay, so dinner is a burger, some cheese and pickles. My breakfast today, just some bacon, berry jam and a glass of milk. This is the milk I showed you in the beginning of the video, and so far I'm not having any problems with it, so might be worth a try. I put some chicken, minced pork meat and chicken livers, and then a couple of potatoes in the slow cooker. This was supposed to be lunch, but it's a slow cooker, so it didn't finish until now, and it's now almost dinner time. So I had a banana for lunch, and then this is dinner now. This is another snack. Some berry jam and cream. Okay, so here's the final result for this week. The total cost comes down to €40.47, so that's about €10 below budget. As you could see, I did have a couple of days where I just had 2 bigger meals rather than 3 meals, but still you got €10 left, so I think if you want to, you can just have 3 meals every day, but that's just not how I mean, I try to do 3 meals every day for the sake of this video, but then towards the end, as you could see, that didn't work out. I usually prefer to have one bigger meal and then just breakfast, then a couple of snacks. But yeah, I think this is pretty good.